Bonsoir merci. Thank you for tuning in to WDBG TV, Metro Windsor, Detroit.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to a night that'll shake previous beliefs, moreover, probably also shock and rock your very soul. This is Amy Suzanne, your fearless part Canadian, part American, fluently bilingual, half English, half French, dual citizen, straight up and out voice of in the raw and real truth, bringing that all and more to you using no teleprompters, no idiot boards, ad lib with no bullshit involved, as well as with quite a bit more than just a few irresistible sexy vibes to help spice up this special VNA and WDBG evening broadcast of North America's rising morning show. Tonight, this here girl's broadcasting live from the heights and heart of Metro Windsor, Detroit, where the border is not just a line, it's a fierce battleground of dreams and destinies. Mon Dieu, my fam, North America, are you ready? Tonight, you're gonna see curves poppin', breasts and buttocks commanding attention, flashing a touch more heat than those stiff conservative suits dare to show. But hold up, fam. Don't get it twisted. This is not going to be crude or lewd. I'll reveal later why I'm serving up to you some of these real biological feminisms of God-created divine beauty. And trust me, you'll not only understand but truly cherish God's biological artwork in all its glory. So stick with me, because this girl's bringing fire that'll light up your mind. Now listen up. I'm diving headfirst into the news cycle's wildfire. This explosive clash between Canada's powers that be, Mark Carney and his liberal cronies, and America's bold leadership, slinging tariffs and whispering annexation. I'm laying bare why I stand tall for freedom, traditional values, family, and community. Why I'm wielding AI to help protect my 6-year-old mini-me and myself, as well as to help us all slice through the elite's noise. How Canada's turning into a threat to its own people, the United States, and the entire world, and what a truly happy life should embody. And this show I'm doing tonight, in the hope of making things one whole hell of a lot better for everyone, can be or is your wake-up call to every North American, Canadian, American, it doesn't matter, to sit up, listen close, and reflect deeply on the issues ripping at our future. Real talk, Canadians. It's time to rise up and claim your truth. Let's dive in. See, Canadians been strutting around like they're the kings, queens, princes, and princesses of North America, sneering at the U.S. like Americans are a bunch of uneducated, gun-toting airheads in a dangerous and inferior backwater swamp. That superiority complex they got? It's a lie. Just one huge through centuries of psych-op brainwashing put in Canadians' brains by those whom wish to absolutely rule over and control the Canadian people. Big, huge, rotten lie. A straight-up, nasty lie, fed to them since 1776 by anti-American, British crown-loving, socialist-leaning educators, press, and TV hacks who know the American systems better. They've brainwashed Canadians to think they're better than their southern neighbors, just to keep them from demanding the God-given rights Americans fought for. Why? 'Cause if Canadians saw the truth, they'd revolt like we did, like the French did, and tear down this house of cards. Tonight, I'm showing you why Canada's system's a trap, why America's way is the only path to save your families, and why this fight between Ottawa and Washington is a fight for your soul. Let's break it down, no sugarcoating. Canada's system is built on the divine right of kings, this old rotten idea that power flows from God to a ruler, not the people. That's why your prime minister, acting like a monarch, handpicks his buddies for cabinet, controls MPs like a gang leader, lets suits like Carney ram through whatever they want. The Governor General, a British Empire leftover, can dissolve Parliament on a whim. Mon Dieu, that's not freedom. It's a plantation dressed up as democracy. Worse, your Canadian charter's a joke. Section 1 says your rights, speech, religion, assembly, only exist till the government calls them unreasonable. That's divine right in a suit, making you servants, slaves even, to Ottawa's whims. In the U.S., our constitutional republic flips that script. The government serves us. Congress, president, courts. No one's a dictator. States got power, so Washington can't crush your town. Our Bill of Rights is ironclad. First Amendment lets you speak truth. Second lets you defend your family. No questions asked. Now why's Amy Suzanne like she is? 'Cause I believe in freedom, real freedom, where you run your life, not some bureaucrat. I'm a gal who's danced topless, studied law, and seen the streets of Detroit, so I know liberty's worth fighting for. I stand for traditional roles, not 'cause I'm chaining women to stoves, but 'cause family's the heartbeat of society. Women nurturing kids, men providing, communities leaning on each other. That's the glue that holds us together, not government handouts. Family and community are where we find meaning, where we build a happy life rooted in love, faith, and self-reliance. That's what Canada's losing to its collectivist nonsense, straight out of Lenin, Marx, and Mao. Free healthcare, gun control, speech laws, they sound sweet till you realize they're a trap, letting Ottawa decide what you say, own, or think. That's a nanny state treating you like kids, not citizens. And yeah, I'm using AI, 'cause it's a tool to blast through elite propaganda. With AI, I can dig deeper, speak clearer, and get this truth to you without the media's filter. But Canada, it's becoming a threat. Carney's liberals, cozying up to Beijing, are selling your sovereignty to globalists and Chinese interests. That's a danger to Canadians, losing your freedoms to a state that overrides your rights. It's a danger to the U.S., 'cause a weak Canada's a backdoor for Chinese influence. And it's a danger to the world, 'cause a Canada that bows to tyrants tips the scales against liberty everywhere. The U.S. ain't perfect, but our system, built on individual rights, limited government, and a constitution that's a shield, keeps us strong. Canada's house of cards, propped up by divine right and collectivism, is shaken under Carney's globalist weight. This fight between Canada's elites and America's pushback ain't just politics. It's about what a happy life means. It's about living free, raising your kids with values, leaning on your neighbors, not some Ottawa suit. It's about saying no to a government that thinks it's your king. Canadians, you've been fed this lie that you're better, more civilized, more polite. 'Cause since 1776, your schools and media knew if you saw America's freedoms, you'd demand them. So they sold you this fairy tale of being kings and queens, too refined for our ruggedness, when really they're scared you'll wake up. Wake up, Canada. You're not superior. You're sleepwalking into chains. North Americans, reflect on this. Freedom, family, community, that's the path to a happy life. Reject Lenin and Mao's socialism. Demand your right to bear arms, speak freely, keep your money. Tell Carney and his liberal Nazis, we Nazis, 'cause their control freak agenda stinks of it, to take a hike. Want a nation that stands tall? Look south, Cher. The United States system, its beliefs, are the gold standard for liberty. Embrace them, and Canada won't just survive, it'll thrive. The United States system might at times seem like a wild, turbulent place, and rolling that way, a wild ride. However, its beliefs are the gold standard for liberty. And if Canadians would stop listening to all the political propaganda theater thrown at them to control every aspect of their lives and rule over, steal, take away, as well as overzealously tax and tramp all over your finances and rights, and embrace them, and demand the same real, meaningful, and true unalienable rights your southern cousins in the United States have, then Canada won't just survive, it'll thrive. Now, fam, get ready, 'cause I'm rolling right into the next part of this show, switching to a different AI that'll give my voice a deeper vibe. You'll still see these curves, plus more sexy vocal heat flashing than those stiff conservative commentators dare show, keeping you locked in as we dive deeper. So stay with me, Cher, because this here girl's gonna roll into the rest of this evening's show with you. So buckle up and let's roll into that. Vive la liberté, mon chéri.
Live from the far reaches of the North American realm, WDBG presents our new morning show, North America's Rising, hosted by someone many consider to be North America's sexiest, most voluptuous, amazing, and most esteemed, outrageously satirical, as well as one of, if not the most vocal female broadcast commentators ever to grace the North American airwaves, our WDBG and VNA Directrice and member of the Independent Press Gallery of Canada, the one and only Amy Suzanne. You and the world been waiting for and really needs to hear. Wake up, North America. Here's the radiantly gorgeous, as well as quite in the vernacular, vocal and intelligent, awesome, raw Amy Suzanne.
It's already 9 a.m., so time to wake the fuck up, because North America's rising. And right now, right damn now, it's time to get your ass, ears and mind on this here little ride with me, Amy Suzanne. So let's go and let's roll, people.
I'm not one of those cushy studio types, plopped on a velvet chair, strutting like a peacock, hollering, "Hey, look at me." Good evening, Windsor, Detroit, North America, and the world. It's your girl, Amy Suzanne, coming at you with that raw, real energy, but switching things up a bit tonight with a special evening broadcast. I kind of think, for good measure and insurance sake, that I gotta repeat and drill into y'all that vitally important info I've been dropping on you and the world in my last couple of show broadcasts. Once again, voila, this new evening special broadcast I'm doing right now. Please understand, though, that we here at VNA and WDBG, or I, usually don't do the rerun or repeat thing, but for this info, this show, and vitally important stuff, we're going to break our own rule just because what we're trying to convey to you tonight is so damn ultra important and vital for y'all to understand. Now let me clear the air on something else y'all might be wondering about. This ain't the usual AI we use for our North America's Rising daytime morning show. That one's an exact perfect pitch, pace, and tone clone of my own voice and nails my exact appearance like nobody's business, just like the AI we use on my North America's Rising daytime morning show does. But this AI we're using tonight to utilize a bit of different background and imagery, it's close, just makes me sound a touch deeper, like I'm channeling some late-night radio vibes, and makes me look a bit older and off, not exactly alike than I actually do as the other AI you're used to watching. Doesn't distort or do. But however, irregardless of all that, if you've been listening and pay any attention whatsoever to what I and others been saying in previous broadcasts about why, for my own and my little daughter's mini-me security sakes, we've had to choose utilizing the AI thing. But like a wise person once said, fam, it's not the messenger but the message that's more important. So in light of that, still it's all good. Mes, so bear with me and hang in there. As I've mentioned, we're using this AI to help entertain and visually spice shit up a bit as well, because our production team has, through this other AI that we're using for this evening broadcast and show tonight, added a lot more imagery into this evening special broadcast for you through different AI we're using for this evening special. So it's not you, my ride or die audience and extended fam. Yup, we're trying to tweak things a bit, so you're not just seeing or watching, just me standing in front of a bookshelf, holding a microphone, speaking only mere words or things others have already said in the current news cycle, like some damn stenograph, basically story copying, self-glorifying, self-labeling, journalist talking head wannabe fraudster thinking and claiming they're real ones. Usually been doing since the Canadian trucker convoy, and so many of those kind of wannabes have appeared. Feel my vibe there, fam? You know, like some of the wannabes that's popped on trying to imitate what those like Andy Lee, Charlie LeDuff, Vinny, and I do and have done for decades, and like some wannabe and fool trying to perpetrate a fraud fool would. And so many of those frauds self-glorifying and self-labeling as journalists usually been trying to perpetrate frauds and do these here days. Yup, as we all know. So many on Rumble and YouTube do that. Not every one of them are without real talent, skills, or merit though, but not a one of them like this here girl. 'Cause I'm for real and not one of those fame and attention-seeking kind of fools. And this here girl, That's right, yours most truly. Amy Suzanne's doing it as much in the raw and the real as I can, while preserving my mini-me's safety and security by endeavoring, doing what I do in the AI kind of way. I gotta do it to convey all this important facts, knowledge and education. Moreover, all these extremely vital facts and thoughts to you tonight. You feel me, people? So if you do feel me, my extended social media audience fam, you'll grasp and understand everything and what I'm trying to convey from the depths of my heart and soul tonight. So now listen up to this here, girl fam, because I'm dropping some vitally important knowledge tonight. No games, no filter. I'm here, like everyone at VNA and WDBG, are to school y'all on the wave of left-leaning folks Canada just voted into power and unleashed unbridled to run roughshod over our freedom, rights, and liberty. And yeah, all North Americans, whether from Canada or the United States, should all equally possess, hold, and be able to freely use without being censored, repressed, or oppressed by any person, players, organizations, or government. Yup, ya all know what this here girl's talking about. All those freedom and all the fundamental values that North Americans hold dear. Yup, this here girl and us, let's start really deeply thinking and talking about what's going down in Canada that can infect as well as affect all North America, keeping it straight and hitting you with the real truth, Amy Suzanne style, like Lou Gordon or Charles LeDuff would do, and doing it using all that Metro Detroit fire my Vinny D. Lou and Charles taught me, and in their own ways, placed within this here girl's small petite body and within my soul. And me doing all that with a splash and dash of my mama's français tongue. You know, that original French language of Detroit and North America. That's not heard very much in Detroit or North America anymore these days, save for in Quebec and a few other places in Canada. And tonight, once again, because it's so damn important and because so many out there are clueless and blind to it, we got to talk about this bullshit that just happened in Canada that's tantamount to a total disaster that just happened, even though most in the USA ain't usually paying attention to what occurs across their northern border. Therefore, we got to educate y'all once again on the reality and the real danger that's happening now, and made even worse, posed by and through these liberal Marxist and globalist clowns up north, still high on Trudeau's WEF poison, with Mark Carney acting like he's the new boss. How disastrous and dangerous that's all going to be for Canada and even North America, and just how it could actually end freedom as well as life, perhaps even the sovereignty and very existence of North America. Yep, that's right, in and for both Canada and that of the United States itself. So that there's also why I'm telling y'all this, as well as lets and gets me to stress urgently to you that what's going on across the Ambassador Bridge now, this libtard bullshit that just occurred in Canada, ain't just your usual politics. It's, in its basic essence and reality, nothing but a straight-up rerun of history's ugliest chapter. And me, your girl here, Amy Suzanne, I'm not holding any of my thoughts back for anyone or anything kind of coward, so 'cause it's so vitally ultra important, I'm calling it out. What just happened in Canada is another instance of bad human nature, as well as history once again repeating itself as it's done since human existence, because as unfortunately us humans, both male and female, have never really seemed to actually learn diddly squat from humankind's previous history and mistakes, which man and womankind have done or made since time immemorial. Yup, my fam, mon amies, what just occurred in Canada is nothing other than a Marxist fascist hustle by some modern-day new version of Nazis, falsely labeling themselves as progressive liberals and their dumbass globalist national socialist voter donor support base, which many today, including my husband, are press guild members, such as Andy Lee, Chris Dacey, I myself, and many of y'all out in the audience, just called truanons, idiot globalists, and libtards. As you'll soon learn, all of them, all those truanons, libtards, whom are all each and every one of them no more than family, economy, and nation-destroying, self-labeled progressive and socialist-orientated morons, unwittingly make Hitler's Nazis look indebtedly old-fashioned in comparison to this new breed of Nazism that these idiots in reality really are. They make Hitler and his old-school National Socialist Nazis look like simpletons, moreover mere amateurs, while they, as donor voter base for Mark Carney's crew, allow Carney and his libtards, all of them all to play an even slimier, dirtier, evil to the core, perhaps as many Christians, even Islamics themselves, consider a purely satanically evil game. So listen up, all y'all out there in the audience this evening, after hearing me educate y'all tonight once again. Which this here girl's doing once again tonight, voila, with this here special evening broadcast, in order to ensure, to the best I can, that you've caught and retained at least the main points of all I've laid down and educated y'all up on through my last few casts, and all that this here girl's gonna school you up even further on. So to start doing that, you'll first need to try and remember the history that was taught to you and all of us before this woke group of National Socialist, Nazi, like liars and morons took over our schools, colleges, and universities. And remember most of all that our fathers and grandfathers fought, bled, and died in the millions to stop this same kind of tyranny, this kind of marred, and this kind of repressive and oppressive pure bullshit I'm going to be pointing to. Talking about and describing that these libtard liars have thrown nonstop at us all, both in Canada as well as in the United States, this past decade and even longer. But today's dumbass Canucks, it seems, are kind of way too stuck on stupid brainwashed by decades of leftist, Marxist, and Maoist-orientated educators in those commie manufacturing plants that today's versions of Nazis and libtards up across the border, and that U.S. Democrats in the U.S. mislabel by calling them universities, colleges, and schools, but which are merely just making the majority of students attending them. Learning then, in all reality, attending, leering the commie bullshit, and then graduating falsely and leaving by the same Nazi-style mass education and going out into the world to re-perpetuate all the falsehoods and lies they were indoctrinated with. Through that bad education and those libtard, Democrat, and Marxist-orientated mass production, libtard manufacturing plants misnamed and mislabeled as schools to re-perpetuate all that family, nation, society, and economy propaganda they learnt there within those commie and libtard manufacturing plants, which were funded by the enemies of North America. And to continue on in life as mere further Nazi-type and style socialist clones, and therefore, as Lenin once said, give us just one generation. Far too many of them, but not all of them, ending up merely as further minions of a Satan Marxist-orientated new National Socialist Nazi libtard party propagandists, as well as further poisoning the minds of everyone else up across the USA-Canada border, and further causing many in society to be either even further psychologically demented, duped, tricked, and brainwashed, quasi-religious libtard dummies, or so scared shitless silent like folks were in 33 Germany were, or worse, and finding themselves broke miserable and in the end powerless fools, although deep down they probably, each and every one of them, sense something is off, amiss, and seriously wrong, but still, in order not to be attacked and or excommunicated by the herd and quasi-religious hive mentally, still finding themselves coerced and still climbing on board this new evil Nazi-type bandwagon of libtards, cowards, and fools, because they really still don't have any actual damn real clue what's really going on or happening to them. So, mon ami, mon chers, let's break it down. This stakeholder capitalism garbage they're selling. Sounds slick, we? But it's just basically the same old right straight out of the Nazi and commie Chinese playbooks, which is defined as what's actually known as real fascism, which is in essence a government that's bolted industry, commerce, and media to the government's iron fist. Hitler had his boys in bed with IG Farben, Krupp, all them, merging state and corporate muscle into one huge government to lock down everything. Mark Carney and his WEF posse? They're running the same scam, but global. Banks, tech giants, media, all dancing to their Great Reset beat. It's fascism with a TikTok filter, mess shares, where elites pick winners and losers, calling it green progress. Hitler wanted that control. Carney's got it, with more cash and tech than the Nazis ever dreamed. And yet people up there are eating it up, hypnotized by the same propaganda Hitler, Stalin, and Mao say Tung would have envied, too blind to see they're marching into a trap our kin fought, bled, and died to destroy. Now let's talk the real sale, marred, crushing dissent. Canada's Liberals? They're colder than a February night in Metro Windsor, Detroit. Trudeau froze truckers' bank accounts for protesting COVID rules. No trial, just poof, your money's gone. And Mark Carney and his crones riding that wave, tagging anyone who disagrees as disinformation scum. They don't just silence you, they erase your whole life. Your job, your bank, your voice. Nazis sent you to camps, these fools lock your accounts and call it safety. At least Hitler owned his brutality. Mark Carney's hiding behind woke lies, which is worse, cowardly and slick. And the people? Brainwashed or scared, just like Germans who stayed quiet when the brown shirts rolled through. Our fathers stormed Normandy to stop this, but Canucks today are too spooked or fooled to even whisper against it. And the way they criminalize protesters? Mon Dieu, it's vile. Freedom Convoy truckers went from heroes to terrorists for honking against mandates. Trudeau and his harem of libtard floozies and crones slapped him with the Emergencies Act. Same made sure to lock up Canada's very own Joan of Arc clone Tamara Litch, and inspired by God, a girl with a magnetic personality of a mom and grandmother, real life now even by many deemed a true national saint who didn't even do a damn thing wrong. In order to try to set precedent, they can turn against others, anyone else who dares to challenge these novel Nazis through making Tamara an example, and in order to coerce the citizenry to cower and make others cow, as well as fold into submission, never to criticize libtard globalists again, or suffer the same as these new Nazi national socialists doled out to Tamara. Yeah, fam, that's just what Tamara's trial was really all about, which trial and pound of flesh sentencin', in reality was no more than political persecution and revengeful retribution on the globalist libtard Nazi clones' part. You know, same as Hitler and Mao would have done. Yep, for same purpose, vibes, and energy as Hitler's Enabling Act, handing the state a blank check to smash dissent. And Canada's new elected by dumbasses prime minion of Satan himself, Mark Carney's down with this, ready via his and his crone's own version of an enabling act or censorship bills that they're trying to enact into law in order to brand any complainers, dissidents, or rebels against their inherent bullshit and extremist. And wake up, people. They're not just hitting protesters, they're demonizing farmers, Christians, anybody who ain't salutin' their agenda. Nazis targeted Jews and rebels. Carney's crew hunts unwoke Canadians, with media cheering like it's Berlin 39. And the kicker? Folks up there are either too duped by the same propaganda that suckered Germans back then, or too afraid to fight, joining this evil bandwagon instead. Our grandfathers bled on battlefields to kill this beast, and now people are letting it slink back in, draped in a maple leaf. This liberal gang with Carney as their shiny new frontman ain't just mimicking Nazis, they're outdoing them. Hitler needed stormtroopers. These guys got algorithms, global banks, and a surveillance web tighter than anything in the Third Reich. They're building a cage where every step, word, and dollar is tracked, judged, controlled, all while calling it the future. Mes amis, this is fascism on steroids, smiling in a suit, and it's creeping south to Detroit if we don't snap out of it. Our ancestors fought to bury this evil. We can't let brainwashed or spineless Canucks or anybody let it rise again. Time to stand tall, speak loud, and slam this dystopian murd to the ground. We mon chers, c'est l'heure, c'est maintenant, c'est now. All need to stand up, rise up, and cry out in every manner, way, or form to pull these Nazi-like globalist woke fake liberal tyrants off their lofty perches and right the hell out of North America now. No matter what it takes or entails before Carney and his libtard woke, new Nazi National Socialist Marxist crones invite commie China to establish economic and military bases in Canada right here on North American soil, and it's too late.
Stop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 6, 8, 9, 9.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
These are the stakes. To make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other, or we must die.
This girl's signing off for now, but don't let the fire fade. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell, and check out the videos linked below if you're watching on YouTube. I hope this broadcast has sparked something deep in every one of you. Whether you're Canadian or American, planting seeds of wisdom and igniting the courage to stand tall like our ancestors did. They rallied, they hailed, they fought against tyranny, and now it's our turn to rise against the chaos threatening Canada before it's too late. As Winston Churchill warned, you can only appease a ravenous crocodile for so long before it turns and devours us all. So let's unite, North Americans, and fight for what's right. I'm stepping back for a moment, but in what feels like just a couple of heartbeats, this girl will be back. À la prochaine, mes amours. Remember, je t'adore. And I cherish every one of you standing with me until the end. See you soon in what'll seem as just a few heartbeats. Till next time, à la prochaine. Amy's ghostin' for a few, and bidding you all a temporary adieu with love and appreciative gratitude. Hey, fam, we done unpacked all that Canada drama in part 1, so now let's slide into part 2 of this special vibe, mes chéris. Y'all probably clocked that this girl, Amy Suzanne, brings a whole lot of spice, showing off these God-given curves. Yep, my chest and my booty, way bolder than most chicks in this independent conservative media game. I'm out here serving cleavage with a side of sass, and I'm leaning all the way in, using AI to crank up the heat. Why, you ask? Hold tight, because I'm about to drop some raw truth bombs, Amy Suzanne style, on why I flaunt it and why it's a big damn deal. Get ready. This one's going to spark y'all up and keep you hooked. To start our roll into the second part of tonight's show, this here girl's going to start out by pointing out, like most of you probably would agree, that only a blind person could have missed this girl here doing quite a bit of that flashing let's just say real biological female assets throughout the first part of this special evening broadcast, which some gals, rockin' the same biological gifts as me, maybe a bit more or less endowed, might call my flaunting crude, lewd, or low class. But monsieurs, God gave us women these feminine assets for a reason, to draw folks in as friends, to nurture as moms, or to spark attraction as sexual partners. So, buckle up, fam, for part 2 of tonight's special, because this convo's about to get deep, personal, and heavy. Amy Suzanne slinging truth bombs in the real and raw, old-school Detroit style. Yup, sure enough, fam, this here girl Amy Suzanne bout to school y'all on why I do what most chicks in independent conservative media ain't got the guts for, rockin' these feminine curves loud and proud. I'm spilling the tea on why some gals, whether they know it or not, flaunt their assets, and why I crank it up, serving way more cleavage and sass than the rest. So stick with me, fam, for some straight-up real talk Amy Suzanne style that's gonna hit hard and keep y'all vibin'. 8, fam, let's keep it 100 as we dive into part 2 of tonight's show, mes chéris. If y'all been riding with me for a minute or really locked in during part 1, you already know I'm out here showing off some cleavage and curves. Tonight, I'm breaking down the cultural and biological politics of why me, Amy Suzanne, and so many women lean into that vibe. Keep your eyes on my words, not just my assets, because this ex-topless dancer, who worked them stages to pay for law school, is bout to school y'all on the power and purpose behind the flaunt. Buckle up, mes amis, for a truth bomb dropped with heart, Amy Suzanne style that's gonna light a fire in you. Yup, if you're a longtime follower and subscriber, or have seen a couple of my previous shows, you'd already had discovered. And you'll know that I'm an ex-topless dancer who worked that stage in adult strip clubs and bars back in the day when I was a university student to pay my way through law school. Because back then, I dreamed of being a high-profile, powerhouse lawyer, but I thought I was poor at the time, and Mama Dearest was keeping a big money secret from this here girl. So I thought I'd need quick and long paper to help fund school and other things a girl needs. Then while I was shaking my cleavage and tightly packed little old spinner behind on the stage one night, Vinny D walked into the club, and I met my amazing man, Vinny D, who lit the spark that started to really change this here girl's life. This, my fam, was a few years before that pandemic hit the world. But after the pandemic nonsense and the trucker convoy shook things up, I felt a call-in, like Tamara Litch and Andy Lee did. I knew I had to use my gifts, this mouth, this rack, these brains, and this body, to make a real difference. So I ditched the lawyer path and jumped into this media and broadcasting thing you see me rockin' today. Now, to wrap up tonight's special show, I'm going to break down why I bash a bit of cleavage and curves and the dynamics and politics behind it before I ghost till the next broadcast I host for y'all, my conservative fam. So, listen up, oui? This is Amy Suzanne, coming at ya with that raw, real energy. And for the finale of this show, before this here girl ghosts till the next show, this here girl, Amy Suzanne, gonna take you all on a little deep dive about why I flash a bit more of my, let's just say, biological female assets. So because that too needs a bit of explaining as well as comment on. Now, fam, we'll be diving into. Aight, fam. Now let's get down and dirty with the politics of cleavage and derrieres. Or as we keep it real round here, the straight up game of tits and ass. I'm talking about these real biological feminine assets. Mine, yours, every proud woman's God-given curves. As a real deal biological female, I'm serving up my tits and ass with a wink and a whole lot of sass. Why? 'Cause this ex-topless dancer knows how to work it, and I'm breaking down why me and other gals own that vibe, cranking it to the max. Hang tight, me cherie, for some spicy, in-your-face truth, Amy Suzanne style, that's gonna have y'all hyped and leaning in, 'cause a real biological woman's loud and proud right to wear what they want, show off their curves, and then, if the wrong guy dares glance, to drag him through the mud. Way to go, ladies. Another wedge between men and women, another feather in feminism's cap, right? This ties into the work I've been doing on university, school, workplace, and societal culture across Canada and the US, like those campus reports about harassment. Y'all hear about those surveys? 1 in 2 students claim they've been harassed, but peel back the curtain, and it's mostly women griping. It's about inappropriate staring or leering. Real talk. Walk through a campus in Calgary, Montreal, or Detroit on a hot summer day, and it's a straight-up fashion show of gorgeous bodies. Tiny skirts, shorts that barely cover, low-cut tanks, cleavage for days. Bet some of those women crying about leering are sporting those exact fits. That's the game, ain't it? Women dressing sexy want the right guys looking. It's only wrong when it's some dude they don't vibe with, maybe the shy, older, or less flashy ones. Let me tell y'all a story from my own life. A while back, I was covering a big charity gala in Nouvelle Orleans. For ya all English speakers out there, that's way we Frenchies say New Orleans, the Big Easy, and I was there in my capacity and as part of my job as CEO for VNA and WDBG. On that afternoon, which was quite steamy and hot, I was rocking a deep V dress that hugged my curves just right. You know, not only the day was hot, but also this here little girl was smoking hot too. I'm doing my thing as a reporter and CEO Directrice, all confident when I'm seated next to this big shot banker from Atlanta. Mid-interview, I catch him sneaking a peek at my cleavage. Cameras caught it, and next thing you know, local gossip posts and local blogs are lighting up, not roasting him, but praising me for handling it like a pro, smiling, keeping it classy, and redirecting the convo. See, I didn't shame the guy. I used the moment to show strength and grace. Pravun, you can own your look without tearing others down. That's my style, fam. Not humiliating folks, but lifting the narrative to focus on what matters. Now, nobody's saying a woman's outfit excuses groping or worse. That's a hard no. Always. But some folks have taken a good point and twisted it into a free pass for women to act without fairness. Here's another tale. I was taking a dance class in a section of Quebec City, working with this fierce instructor. To protect her privacy, I'll just call or refer to her as Lena, who taught pole fitness. And by the way, she's also a switch hitter. For those of you who got no clue what I mean by that, she's bisexual, and that day I'm talking about this smoking hot instructor, Lena. She was rocking her awesome toned and endowed bod in a sparkly crop top, showing off her toned frame, and I'm in a tight tank, both of us feeling empowered. After class, this guy, nice but awkward, tries to compliment Lena's moves but stumbles, admitting he couldn't stop watching. Her spins. Lena laughs it off, says thanks, but eyes on the routine next time. Cool? No drama, no shaming. Later we're chatting, and Lena tells me, Amy, I dress bold 'cause it's my art, but I ain't here to burn a guy for noticing. It's about balancing power and kindness. That stuck with me. Own your vibe, but don't weaponize it. Feminism's pushing this idea that women can flaunt everything, and men just gotta act blind, like there's no biology at play. That's nonsense, mes. A while back, I covered a Free the Nipple rally in Toronto, folks arguing women should go topless in public, same as men. Mon Dieu, that's missing the point. Breasts ain't just skin, They're a sexual signal, like a lion's mane, wired to catch eyes. Sure, they feed babies, but they also scream, "I'm grown," to potential partners. That don't mean they're always sexual. Moms should nurse in public, no stress, and little girls shouldn't be forced to cover up. But in most cases, showing off pulls the male gaze, and that's just nature. Y'all remember those slut walks in cities like Ottawa and Chicago? Women in barely their outfits marching to claim their right to dress free. It kicked off after a dumb comment from a cop saying women shouldn't dress like sluts to avoid trouble. The walks turned into a taunt, women flashing their bodies to rile men up, daring them to react, then crying foul when they do. Organizers called it a "screw you," not a "come on." That's not freedom. That's baiting a chained dog and laughing when it barks. It's cruel, and we shouldn't be hyping women to play men like that. When women in Windsor or Detroit stand in front of their mirrors adjusting that cleavage for max impact, we gotta nudge them to think deeper. Some swear they dress sexy just to feel good, but most ain't rockin' plunging tops solo at home. They want an audience. I've talked to tons of gals for my reports, and most admit they know the score. Here's a clip from a radio panel I hosted. Guys and gals staring at your chest. If you're cool with it, own it. But if you're like eyes up here, yet your girls are out, don't be shocked when folks look. You're serving it up. Own the vibe. That's it. Flaunting power as a bold move. But it can cross into teasing territory. Now, how do men take it? The confident, sharp guys, the ones who know they're the target, they love the show. Some women eat up that attention, and it's all fun, like in this cheeky car show ad I covered, big modern avant-garde ad with women and men vibin'. But it ain't always light. Some men, dads with teen girls, or guys who don't fit the hot mold, feel stuck. They're embarrassed when their daughter's friends parade around in crop tops, but if they speak up, they're labeled creeps. Others know one wrong glance could get 'em roasted. The guys who don't check the boxes, maybe not rich or ripped, feel it most. They know it's a game they can't win, and it stings. Online, men are calling out this sexual flex. And here's why it hits hard. Most guys, per experts like Roy Baumeister, live in sexual drought, constant rejection, unmet desire. Baumeister, a prof at Queensland, says men's drive is a perpetual readiness that rarely finds a match. So when women flash cleavage, it's like waving a burger at a starving man, then smacking him for looking. That's what makes it frustrating and unfair. When I was in college, I wrote a story on this. All we're discussing here broke a story on this. Some smart-ass professor, let's call him Professor Thumper, as he seemed a real Bible thumper and very judgmentally self-righteous, twisted my words out publicly to is where half the campus about what I had wrote, claiming I said sexy outfits justify attacks. Total BS. Men, no matter who or what social station they're perched upon, gotta stay respectful. That's not up for debate. The issue is why we're cheering women to act cold and unfair. So now let's just all picture a guy flexing his Rolex in a rough neighborhood. If he got jumped, we'd condemn it, but we'd also say he was acting dumb. Yet we give women a pass to taunt and provoke, and nobody calls out the harm it's doing to men and women getting along. So mes amis, mon chers, let's wrap this. The politics of cleavage is about power, provocation, and a system that lets women dodge accountability, while men are damned either way. Our conservative values, fairness, respect, responsibility, call us to do better. My topless dancing days taught me to own my power, but also to wield it with heart, not to hurt. Let's build bridges, not walls between the sexes, Amy Suzanne style. If this hits home, fam, share this broadcast, like it, spread the word. We're tackling real issues, and the more who hear, the better. Stay true, stay sharp, and let's keep this convo rolling. Now here's some more for y'all to ponder and let's sink deep. Yeah, this girl's gonna lay it out raw and clear tonight, hitting you with straight from the heart truth and facts. As always, keeping it 100. When did normal get tossed out like last night's poutine or today's toilet paper, flushed and swept away? Since when's living a legit, grounded life something to clown? Me, even though your girl here's done some shit I wouldn't recommend any girl ever do in her life. This girl here, well, now I rock normal like a badge of honor, and I'm loving and thriving in that old school normal because to me it is a badge of honor. It's who I am and always have been under all the scars and tears, fam. Step on that and you're catching a wake-up call. No cap. So what's making me normal? Well, believe it or not, I'm locked into a ride or die, one love marriage, holding it down for my man till the end of days. I'm living that spouse romantic life, heart set on the guy I call my partner. I've got 3 kids, 2 boys from a previous relationship, and a little girl mini-me from my husband Vinny, each keeping it real with the biology they were born with. Our flags? For my Windsor and Ottawa crew, when I'm breathing on the Canadian side of the border, it's the maple leaf, proud and bold. For my Detroit squad, or when I'm that side of the border, it's 50 stars, 13 stripes, straight up. We raisin our kids with values that bridge the 401 to I-94, core principles like every soul's crafted in the divine image, owning your hustle, and chasing life, liberty, and happiness. Our dream? Well, one of the main ones is that our kids pull. They'll find love young, emulate the love and devotion to each other, Vinny and I have, and fill our home with grandkids to cherish someday. Up like that pure fact. Heads up, ladies, I chose to stay home to raise my babies. In this upside-down world, that makes me a rebel, a game changer, or, like I say, a domestic outlaw holding court. But peep this, I ain't no old-school housewife. My baking's all Betty Crocker, and laundry's my nemesis. Real talk. Knitting, sewing, ain't my scene. Farm life? Hell nah, cows, little piglets, chickens, and goats. You're good, swear. I'm a city chick. From the seaport of St. John's and Montreal's streets to Detroit's blocks, raised secular, thinking gardens was the landscaper's gig. Ring a bell? I was like so many of y'all middle-class North American women, restless, lost, frontin' that happiness. Then fate slung me a curve. I met my rock, right on time. And I clocked what our grandmas from Quebec to the Motor City knew in their bones. Even though a girl can have a job or career, a woman's truest vocation, her summum bonum, is to nurture as a partner and mother. I ditched a 6-figure hustle both in law and, but before that, let's just say the entertainment industry, swapping law briefs and cheering at me and showering me with gifts and cash, for lullabies, to be home with my kids more. Choosing this family life? It saved me, straight up. And I'm telling every woman, every girl from Ottawa to Detroit, embracing this fierce home-first purpose can save you, your fam, and our shared North American spirit from the mess we're wading through. Am I saying ditch your career? Nah, I'm pro-choice 100. But let's keep it real. Nurturing a family is the pulse of our future. From Windsor to the D, we see it. Our communities fraying like worn-out kicks. Young folks can't build bonds that hold, raise kids, or keep humanity rolling. Loneliness, addiction, despair, they're gripping us hard. Time's ticking. We're staring down a crisis that could wipe us out. But together, North American women, we can rise, reclaim what's normal, and build a future rooted in love and grit. Till next time, Detroit, Windsor, Ottawa, je t'adore. And I'm going to be ghosting again soon as I roll into and finish this 3rd part of tonight's broadcast. So bear with me and hang in there, because still a lot this here girl's got to say tonight, and you steal a lot to hear and really think about while we're all waiting for that next heartbeat that this here girl's now going to roll into and pump out. Now, as a parting thought before this girl, your host, goes till the next show, let's keep it rolling right now by me laying down some extra but hella relevant thoughts for y'all to pick up on. Feel me? 8. Fam, gather round me, cherie, cause to expound on what I'm trying to convey in this second half of today's special broadcast, this here girl's gonna put y'all up on something. Else important in relation to all this here girl's said, some straight-up verite on why it's all good for a Christian conservative gal like me to flash these curves, this cleavage, these God-given breasts, and still keep it holy. Now, I know some of y'all Bible-thumping skeptics out there clutching your pearls, thinking, Amy, how you out here showing all that and still calling yourself a woman of faith? Stick with me, because I'm about to school y'all Amy Suzanne style, and it's going to hit deep. First off, let's get real. God created this body, every curve, every inch of these assets, and he don't make mistakes. My tits and my ass? They ain't just for show. They're like fine art mezzamise, a masterpiece painted by the creator himself. Now, you don't hide a Rembrandt, Monet, Delacroix, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, or Picasso painting or statue in a dark corner of a basement, do ya? Nah, you put it on display, proud and bold, but with class. That's what I'm doing. Showing off what God gave me, but keeping it tasteful, elegant, never crossing into crude or lewd. It's about celebrating the beauty he crafted, not cheapen it. And hear this. The sin ain't in the display of God's divine artistry, it's in the hearts of those who gaze upon a woman's form with lustful intent, twisting his creation into something unholy. Now let's talk biology, because God wired us this way for a reason. The way I rock this cleavage le mystère of what's not fully revealed, that's no accident. It's stimulating, it's arousing, and that's exactly how God designed it. He made us to attract, to draw in the right partner, for attracting friends, for attracting the opposite sex for marriage, for building families, for carrying out his plan of love and reproduction. My curves ain't out here to tempt or tease in some sinful way. They're a beacon, calling to the one who's going to stand beside me in faith, raise kids, and build a life under God's grace. Y'all, I ain't flashing for vanity or to lead nobody astray. I'm owning this body as a gift from the Lord, showing it with confidence but always with that line of dignity. It's like a song. You got to hit the high notes to catch the ear, but you don't scream the whole tune. I'm hitting those notes, keeping it sultry yet sanctified, because that's the balance God calls us to. A Christian woman can be bold, beautiful, and still walk righteous. So to my skeptics and my conservative fam, hear me out. This ex-topless dancer who worked them stages to fund law school ain't betraying the faith by showing her curves. I'm honoring the Creator's design, using what he gave me to shine bright, draw folks in, and maybe even spark a little holy inspiration. God's art deserves to be seen, not hidden, and I'm proud to display it, tastefully, toujours, for his glory. That's the Amy Suzanne way, and I'm sticking to it. Y'all catching my vibe? Let's keep it loud and proud, fam. But hold up, before your girl Amy Suzanne dips out till the next show, I got something special to share. Me chérie. Check this. Here's a quick peek at a feminine attire brand I'm loving and endorsing. This ain't just any gear. It's the kind of style that makes any biological female shine, whether you're a fierce mama, a proud wife, or like me, a real deal biological female domestic extremist's better half. This straight from France attire is going to boost your curves, amplify your sass, and keep it all elegant. Bon plaisir, mon chéri. Till next time, à la prochaine. Y'all, scope out this dope collection, and I'll be back to vibe with you on the next show. So hit that subscribe button, smack 'em notification bells, and let's keep it poppin', eh?
Hold your breath and count to 3. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, against the white walls, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean, gangster white wall, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, against the white walls, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo-hoo. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo-hoo. Coming in the back, sunroof top, begin the scene with a gangster lady. Ooh. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, begin the scene with a gangster lady. Ooh. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, begin the scene with a gangster lady. Ooh. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, begin the scene with a gangster lady. Ooh. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, begin the scene with a gangster lady. Ooh.